For 3 days, I keep myself locked up in the confines of the Hutch's condo. I watch the view of the beach from a plastic lawn chair on the balcony and can't help but wonder if he is among the beachgoers. Was he looking for me? Was he freaking out as much as I was? What was he doing in Vancouver? I thought about calling Becca and informing her that Nick was here, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. It wouldn't be fair to bring up all these memories for her, too, not to mention the strain that it would put on our friendship. She was already so hurt over my decision to come to Vancouver without her. If she knew that I was in the same city as Nick, I'm honestly not sure what she would do or say, but I know it wouldn't be good. So instead of seeking comfort from my best friend, I wallow in self-pity. Poor me, my trip is ruined. But then it clicks. It had taken a full week for me to bump into Nick, a full week of exploring Vancouver with not so much as a glimpse of him. The chances of seeing him again are very slim. All I have to do is completely avoid that section of beach. If I don't think about him, or consciously keep an eye out for him, I could avoid another run-in with him. My heart gives a dangerous jolt, and I know what it's trying to tell me. You want to run into him again. At around 9 o'clock, Dolores comes to sit with me on the balcony, carrying a large tray of tea. It is obvious to my generous host that something is wrong with me, but neither of them has tried to pry. I can tell that this is Dolores's way of encouraging me to talk to her, and although I barely know the woman, I have to talk to somebody. Dolores, what would you do if you saw somebody you hadn't seen in years? Somebody who just up and left your life without a word. It's hard to miss the desperation in my voice. I will assume it's a boy. Dolores passes me a delicate teacup. Yes, although apparently he isn't much of a boy now. I can't believe how sour I sound, as if I can't possibly believe that Nick had gone and grown up on me. I guess if it were me, I would want to know why he left. That's the thing. I have a good idea of why Nick left. Looking back, I don't blame him for leaving, and I know I didn't deserve a goodbye. But the Nick I knew back then would have never done that to me. Ever. So why had he? Whoever he is, Dolores' sweet voice pulls me from my thoughts. Don't let him ruin your trip. You must have worked really hard to afford to come here, Haven. Don't throw it all away for a boy. She wasn't entirely right. My part-time job at a clothing store would never have provided me with enough cash to cover the cost of this trip. My flights and accommodations at the Hutches were being paid for with a small inheritance left to me by my grandparents. I know Nick wouldn't feel a sliver of satisfaction from ruining my trip. He would feel bad. At least, the Nick I knew 5 years ago would feel bad. The muscle-laden beach boy I saw 3 days ago, I don't know how he would feel. Not about me, not about anything. I don't even know him anymore. Our granddaughter Jenny has been dying to meet you, Haven. Why don't I give you her number? And if you're feeling up to it, you two can hang out. She can be a great tour guide and a great listener. I call Jenny right away, before I can talk myself out of it. Within 5 minutes, I have plans to meet her at a club downtown. A small flower of excitement has bloomed inside my chest, and I cling to it as I get myself ready. The longer I focus on the excitement, the less terrified I feel about walking out the front door. Dolores shows me a picture of Jenny, so I pick her out of the crowd easily when I pull up in front of the club in a taxi. I can't ignore the pang in my chest when I realize how much she looks like Becca. Long black hair and a petite frame with a gorgeous face. I wave to the beautiful girl, and her face lights up. You must be Haven! She throws her arms around me and pulls me into a tight hug. You have no idea how excited I was when my grandparents told me they were having a girl my age come to stay with them this summer. You have no idea how excited I was when your grandparents said they could have me. Vancouver is a crazy expensive place to live. This is perfect. She is easy to talk to. Jenny loops her arm through mine and pulls me into the nightclub, bypassing the line of people waiting to gain entrance. Gorgeous, and she has the inn at the club? How perfect. I love that dress. Jenny takes the sheer silver material of my almost too short dress between her fingers. I have one just like it, but in black. Come on, let's grab a table close to the dance floor. The club is unlike any I have ever been to. Back home, I mostly frequented the country bar and a techno club in the mall. There is an overall essence of class and taste to this place. Everything from the bar top to the polished floor is shiny black and splattered with metallic silver. The overhead lights around the bar and the booths lining the dance floor are seductive red. It gives the entire club a sexy vibe, and I love it. Music pulses through the speakers, seeping into my body, and I sway on my stool. Soon, I will join the small crowd that is already forming on the dance floor. As I peer around at the crowd of complete strangers, I feel my stomach tense. He could be here. I shut the thought down immediately by flagging down a shooter girl who was carrying a tray of shots. Can I interest you in some Patron? The shooter girl's voice is at just the right level for us to hear her over the music. I'll take two. Jenny? I turn to Jenny, who is practically jumping up and down in excitement as she holds two fingers up and hands the shooter girl a $20 bill. The shooter girl smiles at us, and I know she is trying to remember our faces so she can pick us out of the crowd later and sell us more of her shots. She lines up the shot glasses and balances a lime wedge on each glass. After she gives us both our change, she moves on, but I know she will be back. Jenny claps her hands excitedly. None of my friends ever want to do tequila shots with me. You must be sent from heaven. She holds up one of the shot glasses to me. We clink our glasses together, yell cheers, dump the burning alcohol down our throats, and then sink our teeth into the sour limes. I welcome the fire that spreads from my throat through my entire body. Goosebumps rise on my arms, and my heart thrums in excitement. My body knows tequila. So spill. Jenny looks at me expectantly while spinning her shot glass carelessly on the table between us. Don't spill. I pretend to protect the two remaining shots on our table. I am deflecting, but Jenny doesn't fall for it. Come on, Grandma D mentioned something about a boy. She presses me, and I try to decide what exactly to tell her. It's not a simple story, and to dive into all the dirty details with a girl I just met doesn't sound like any fun. I ran into this guy I know on the beach the other day. Actually, I pause as I recall that I in fact did not run into him. His friend pummeled me to the ground trying to catch a damn football. Anyway, I just stared at him. I couldn't say anything. And then I ran away. We used to be great friends when we were like 14. More than friends sometimes, I guess, I add sheepishly. It was a complicated relationship. I quickly downed the other tequila shot, my liquid courage, to keep explaining to Jenny why seeing Nick is such a big deal to me. Basically, I flipped his life upside down, and I enjoyed doing it. I was such a bitch back in junior high. I pause and shake my head as I remember the person I used to be. We were all bitches in junior high school, Hayden. Jenny pats my hand. I was the worst. I had him wrapped around my finger, and I used it to my advantage every single chance I got. I don't care to explain further than that, because I don't want Jenny to hate my guts. He ended up getting busted with weed in his locker. A lot of weed. The last time I saw Nick, he was being put into the back of a police car. I just never saw or heard from him again. Neither of us speak for a moment. I think Jenny is waiting for there to be more to the story, but I can't go into further details. I was a bitch, and he left. That was the gist of things. As a stranger looking in, I'm sure Jenny thinks I'm crazy to be this upset over something that happened when I was 14 years old. What she doesn't understand, what nobody seems to understand, is that my tumultuous relationship with Nick completely changed the way I look at the world. It changed the way I look at people. You never tried to track him down on Facebook or something? Jenny takes her second shot and makes a face as she bites down on the lime wedge. We are going to need more tequila. All of his social media got deleted. I've tried searching for him in the past, but I could find nothing. I laugh in disbelief. But then I decide to have myself a fantastic adventure here in Vancouver, my reward for making it through my first year of university alive, and boom, I imitate a bomb falling from the sky and exploding on the table. Here comes a blast from the past, ready to shake things up. Why is the universe doing this to me? I realize the tequila must be entering my bloodstream because my overwhelming despair at this situation is now coming out as humor. At least this is a step in the right direction. So, what are you going to do? Jenny tosses her curtain of dark hair over her shoulder before looking at me expectantly. Get drunk? We both laugh, but then I turn serious. Honestly, there's a part of me that hopes I stumble across him again. I want to talk to him. I want to know what the hell happened, and I want a chance to apologize for what I did to him. I wave down the shooter girl to stop myself from saying any more. I pay for another 2 shots and slide one over to Jenny. Enough of my rambling. Tell me more about you. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. But first, Jenny slides from her stool and straightens her skin-tight purple dress. Let's dance those blues away. Jenny pulls me onto the dance floor and instantly begins moving her body to the rhythm of the music. I take a moment longer to allow the beat to work its way into my bloodstream, and then I am dancing too. When I look at Jenny, her black hair hanging in her face as she jumps and sways to the music, it could almost be Becca there with me. I stare up at the flashing silver lights and get completely lost in the moment. While we dance, I get the information download on Jenny. There are a few things she loves in the world: her grandparents, her Chihuahua Muffin, the ocean, and partying. She laughs as she assures me that these 4 things are all her life revolves around. When Jenny doesn't elaborate why her parents are not on that list, I don't ask. If we hang out again, and judging by how much fun I am having with her, I will remember to ask her about it. 2 attractive guys make their way over to us and strike up a conversation while we all continue to dance. I'm thrilled to find that I'm into it. Jenny is an expert flirt, and within 2 minutes, she is keying in one of their phone numbers into her cell. They walk away with a promise to return with drinks for us. I lean in close to Jenny to tell her I call dibs on the green-eyed one, and then I spot him from across the bar, and I am frozen. I guess my hopes have come true. I have stumbled across Nick. Again.